Jai Shri Ram. Hope you are well. And it brings me great pleasure to welcome you to chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. So welcome. Welcome and settle in. The sacred fire is burning and there is a lot that we can receive from the Gita if we are willing, and that is free will. So I welcome you today. It's a beautiful day, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, life is all around. If we take a moment, just a moment, and bathe in the grace and beauty that surrounds us. So welcome to Bhagavad Gita. I strongly believe if the story finds you, it is meant for you. Doesn't matter where you're from, religion, cultures, sects, cults, thoughts, structures, they don't matter. This is wisdom for anyone wanting to live life the right way. And while I understand right can be debated, it is subjective, but within us all there is the human and divine part of us, our internal navigation system, if you like, tells us when something feels right and when it doesn't, and doesn't adhere to man-made protocols, structures and constructs. It goes way beyond that. So blessings to you for being here in this point in space and time. My name is Srishti Chandnol. I'm based in Melbourne. And I do the reading simply for the love of the reading. There's not much that needs to be said or can be added. The subject itself is like the ocean. It is endless. It is deep. There is so much there. And people usually read the Gita and dedicate and devote their entire lives to it. For the common man, however, sometimes life may get in the way, but it does not prevent us from taking the essence and taking what we will for our own growth and evolution. And so my sacred intention to read this beautiful text is to do it in a poetic form, as done by Christopher Isherwood, and a bit of narration and dialogue as well. But there is no commentary. The text is as it is, there, offered to you, and yeah, it is just offered in truth, in love. That is the intention, and it is impossible that a vibration such as this does not produce anything but good and blessings. So here we are. Here we are. My readings are timeless. What that means is it doesn't matter when you find these or they find you or vice versa. It will be at the right time for you. And I invite you to trust that. There is a lot of trust and faith required because the human ego mind likes proof. And there's a lot of proof now emerging in science, if you will, but it's still catching up. And some of this ancient wisdom, particularly those found in the Ramayana, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Mahabharata, really sums it up and gives us the tools that we need to navigate. So, welcome. Welcome. Now, I have a lot of animals that come in and out during the reading, so please don't be alarmed if you see one of my companions and guardians come to say hello. Everyone likes a good reading, including my beautiful white cockatoos and tribesmen. Everyone comes for good reason. They come and they listen to certain parts of the story, and it's beautiful. So let me begin with a little mantra in front of the sacred fire dedicated to my Guru. All offering, all action is offered to my Guru. In my case, my Guru is Lord Shiva. The intention is to offer to something greater than us, and so find what resonates for you. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Dhyan Moolam Guru Murti, Puja Moolam Guru Padam, Mantra Moolam Guru Makyam, Moksha Moolam Kandamandalakaram Vyapatam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshatam Yena, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. And so what that essentially means is Guru, or the teacher, is the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. And everything is offered to my Guru, because everything is received through his grace. And that is something to ponder over. Man traditionally has always felt quite invincible. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, we realize over time, through incidents, good and bad, the magnitude and the sheer insignificance of us and not, if you like. So, yeah. Let's quickly open the space. I tend to get a bit carried away. Sometimes the subject is such. And if you're going through a tough time, I need to say this. This is coming into your life for a reason. I have no doubt. Okay. So, let's open the space. You can have your eyes closed or open. Doesn't matter. What matters is your intention and your presence, all of you. And so let's begin. I'd like to acknowledge, honor, and pay my respects to Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, four directions, upper worlds, lower worlds, and middle worlds, all beings of unconditional love and light, all kings and kingdoms, the crystal kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the animal kingdom, the water kingdom, the kingdom of air, all tribes, all elders, all shamans, grandfathers and grandmothers, all lineages across space and time, all timeline points. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay my respects to all guardians, all keepers of sacred knowledge, all those forgotten, but very much part of the system. You are welcome to this reading, if you so choose. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to any other parts that are forgotten, that are in the system. All elements and elemental beings, all those seen and unseen, known and unknown, understood or not, conscious and unconscious, any being wishing to be here is welcome with love, understanding that protections of Shiva are in place. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay my respects to space and time itself, Maya, the great illusion, information or knowledge or wisdom that wishes to come through the ascended masters, the intergalactic council and federation of light, all sentient beings, all forces, all gods and goddesses, anyone else I may have missed, your systems, your constellations, your networks. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay my respects to you for being here in this point in space and time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And finally, the great Mother Goddess Lalita Mahatripura Sundari and Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Saraswati, Lakshmi, Parvati, Durga, Kali. Space is now open. Beautiful. So, let us begin with the yoga of knowledge. Sanjaya, then his eyes filled with tears and his heart grieved and was bewildered with pity. And Sri Krishna spoke to him, saying, Sri Krishna, Arjuna, is this the hour? Is this hour of battle the time for scruples and fancies? Are they worthy of you who seek enlightenment? Any brave man who merely hopes for fame or heaven would despise them. What is this weakness? It is beneath you. Is it for nothing men call you the foe consumer? Shake off this cowardice. Arjuna, stand up. Arjuna. Bhishma and Drona are noble and ancient, worthy of the deepest reverence. How can I greet them with arrows in battle? If I kill them, how can I ever enjoy my wealth or any other pleasure? It will be cursed with blood guilt. I would much rather spare them and eat the bread of a beggar. Which will be worse, to win this war or to lose it? I scarcely know. Even the sons of Dhritarashtra stand in the enemy ranks. If we kill them, none of us will wish to live. Is this real compassion that I feel? Oh, only a delusion. My mind gropes about in darkness. I cannot see where my duty lies. Krishna, I beg you, please tell me frankly and clearly what I ought to do. I am your disciple. I put myself in your hands. Please show me the way. Not this world's kingdom, supreme, unchallenged. No, nor the throne of the gods in heaven could ease the sorrow that numbs my senses. Sanjaya speaks. When Arjuna, the foe-consuming, the never slothful, had spoken thus to Govinda, ruler of the senses, he added, I will not fight, and was silent. Then to him who thus sorrowed between the two armies, the ruler of the senses spoke, smiling. Sri Krishna. Your words are wise, Arjuna, but your sorrow is for nothing. The truly wise mourn neither for the living nor for the dead. There was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor any of these kings. Nor is there any future in which we shall cease to be. Just as the dweller in this body passes through childhood, youth, and old age, so too at death he merely passes into another kind of body. The wise are not deceived by that. Feelings of heat and cold, pleasure and pain are caused by the contact of the senses with their objects. They come and they go, never lasting long. You must accept them. A serene spirit accepts pleasure and pain with an even mind and is unmoved by either. He alone is worthy of immortality. That which is non-existent can never come into being, and that which is can never cease to be. Those who have known the most inmost reality know also the nature of is and is not. The reality which pervades the universe is indestructible. No one has the power to change the changeless. Bodies are said to die, but that which possesses the body is eternal. It cannot be limited or destroyed, and therefore you must fight. Some say this Atman is slain, and others call it the slayer. They know nothing How can it slay? Or who shall slay it? Know this, Atman, unborn, undying, never ceasing, never beginning, deathless, birthless, unchanging, forever. How can it die? The death of a body. Knowing it birthless, knowing it deathless, knowing it endless, forever unchanging. Dream not you do the deed of the killer. Dream not the power is yours to command it. Worn out garments are shed by the body. Worn out bodies are shed by the dweller. Within the body, new bodies are donned by the dweller, like garments. Not wounded by weapons, not burnt by fire, not dried by the wind, not wetted by the water. Such is the Atman, not dried, not wetted, not burned, not wounded, innermost element, everywhere, always, being of beings, changeless, eternal, forever and ever. This Atman cannot be manifested to the senses or thought about by the mind. It is not subject to modification. Since you know this, you should not grieve. But if you should suppose this Atman to be subject to constant birth and death, even then you ought not to be sorry. Death is certain for the born, rebirth is certain for the dead. You should not grieve for what is unavoidable. Before birth, beings are not manifest to our human senses. In the interim between birth and death, they are manifest. At death, they return to the unmanifest again. What is there in all this to grieve about? There are some who have actually looked upon the Atman and understood it in all its wonder. Others can only speak of it as wonderful beyond their understanding. Others know of its wonder by hearsay, and there are others still who are told about it and do not understand a word. He who dwells within all living bodies remains forever indestructible. Therefore, you should never mourn for anyone. Even if you consider this from the standpoint of your own caste duty, you ought not to hesitate. For to a warrior, there is nothing nobler than a righteous war. Happy are the warriors to whom a battle such as this comes. It opens the door to heaven. But if you refuse to fight this righteous war, you will be turning aside from your duty, he said. You will be a sinner and disgraced. People will speak ill of you throughout the ages. To a man who values his honor, that is surely worse than death. The warrior chiefs will believe it was fear that drove you from the battle. You will be despised by those who have admired you for so very long. Your enemies also will slander your courage. They will use the words which should never be spoken. What could be harder to hear than that? Die, and you win heaven. Conquer, and you enjoy the earth. Stand up now, son of Kunti, and resolve to fight. Realize that pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat are all one and the same. And then go to battle. Do this, and you cannot commit any sin. I have explained to you the true nature of the Atman. Now, listen to the method of Karma Yoga. If you can understand and follow it, you will be able to break the chains of desire which bind you to your actions. In this yoga, even the abortive attempt is not wasted, nor can it produce any contrary result. Even a little practice of this yoga will save you from the terrible wheel of death and rebirth. In this yoga, the will is directed singly towards one ideal. When a man lacks this discrimination, his will wanders in all directions after innumerable aims. Those who lack discrimination may quote the letter of the scripture, but they are really denying its inner truth. They are full of worldly desires and hungry for the rewards of heaven. They use beautiful figures of speech. They teach elaborate rituals which are supposed to obtain pleasure and power for those who perform them. But actually, they understand nothing except the law of karma, which chains men to rebirth. Those whose discrimination is stolen away by such talk grow deeply attached to pleasure and power. And so they are unable to develop that concentration of the will which leads a man to absorption in God. The Vedas teach us about the three gunas and their functions. You, Arjuna, must overcome the three gunas. Poise your mind in tranquility. You must be free from the pairs of opposites. Take care neither to acquire nor to hoard. Be established in the consciousness of the Atman always. Now just quickly, the Vedas here defined as revealed scriptures of the Hindus. The reference here is to the ritualistic portion of these Vedas. The gunas, the three forces or substances composing the universe of mind and matter, they are sattva, rajas, and tamas. When the whole country is flooded, the reservoir becomes superfluous. So, to the illuminated seer, the Vedas are all superfluous. You have the right to work, but for work's sake only. You have no rights to the fruits of the work. Desire for the fruits of work must never be your motive in working. Never give way to laziness either. Perform every action with your heart fixed on the Supreme Lord. Renounce attachment to the fruits. Be even-tempered in success and in failure. For it is this evenness of temper which is meant by yoga. Work done with anxiety about results is far inferior to the work done without such anxiety in the calm of self-surrender. Seek refuge in the knowledge of Brahman, the Godhead. They who work selfishly for results are miserable. In the calm of self-surrender, you can free yourself from the bondage of virtue and vice during this very life. Devote yourself, therefore, to reaching union with Brahman. To unite the heart with Brahman and then to act. That is the secret of non-attached work. In the calm of self-surrender, the seers renounce the fruits of their actions and so reach enlightenment. Then they are free from the bondage of rebirth and pass to that state which is beyond all evil. When your intellect has cleared itself of its delusions, you will become indifferent to the results of all action, present and future. At present, your intellect is bewildered by conflicting interpretations of the scriptures. When it can rest steady and undistracted in contemplation of the Atman, then you will reach union with the Atman. Arjuna. Krishna, how can one identify a man who is firmly established and absorbed in Brahman? In what manner does an illumined soul speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? Sri Krishna speaks. He knows bliss in the Atman and wants nothing more. Cravings torment the heart. He renounces cravings. I call him illumined. Not shaken by adversity, not hankering after happiness, free from fear, free from anger, free from the things of desire. I call him a seer and illumined. The bonds of his flesh are broken. He is lucky and does not rejoice. He is unlucky and does not weep. I call him illumined. The tortoise can draw in his legs. The seer can draw in his senses. I call him illumined. The abstinent run away from what they desire, but carry their desires with them. When a man enters reality, he leaves his desires behind him. Even a mind that knows the path can be dragged from the path. The senses are so unruly, but he controls the senses and recollects the mind and fixes it on me. I call him illumined. Thinking about sense objects will attach you to sense objects. Grow attached and you become addicted. Thwart your addiction and it turns to anger. Be angry and you confuse the mind. Confuse your mind and you forget the lesson of experience. Forget experience and you lose discrimination. Lose discrimination and you miss life's only purpose. When he has no lust, no hatred, a man walks safely amongst the things of lust and hatred. To weigh the Atman is his peaceful joy. Sorrow melts into that clear peace. His quiet mind is soon established in peace. The uncontrolled mind does not guess that the Atman is present. How can it meditate? Without meditation, where is peace? Without peace, where is happiness? The wind turns a ship from its course upon the waters. The wandering winds of the senses cast man's mind adrift and turn his better judgment from its course. When a man can still the senses, I call him illumined. The recollective mind is awake in the knowledge of the Atman, which is dark night to the ignorant. The ignorant are awake in their sense life, which they think is daylight. To the seer, it is darkness. Water flows continually into the ocean, but the ocean is never disturbed. Desire flows into the mind of the seer, but he is never disturbed. The seer knows peace. The man who stirs up his own lusts can never know peace. He knows peace who has forgotten desire. He lives without craving, free from ego, free from pride. This is the state of enlightenment in Brahman. A man does not fall back from it into delusion, even at the moment of death. He is alive in that enlightenment. Brahman and he are one. That finishes chapter 2. I'll just quickly close the space and look forward to reading the next chapter 3 next time. So let us quickly close the space. Send everyone else back. So now close the space and ask all attendees to go back to where they came from. Peace, with joy, love and blessings. Taking back the wisdom and blessings to the systems, to their creations. I give thanks and honor them for being here and sharing the space with me. May only blessings be received. Thank you. धर्म की जय हो, अधर्म का नाश हो, प्राणियों में सद्भावना हो, विश्व का कल्याण हो. And what that means is, may truth prevail, may darkness and ignorance be destroyed. May all beings live in harmony, and may the earth and all creation be blessed. Thank you so much for joining me to read chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. And me and the rest of the animal kingdom will join you for reading number 3 soon. So stay tuned, stay safe, stay happy, and the light that you are. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram.